Okay, right. So let's look at the percentages. Okay, so it says remember that a percentage is usually a part of something. Okay, so for example, 1% means one part of 100.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay, and 2% means two parts of 100. Right, so that's what he's talking about. Okay, it's similar when we are looking at those fractions we did yesterday. Okay, right. So what we are saying here, they are saying 1% because it's freezing. Just it just does its own way. Okay, so 1%. Okay, what it means is one out of 100. Yeah, so 2% means two out of 100. Okay, so it's a part. So two parts of 100. Yeah, so it says you find 100% is equal to the whole number, not a part. As in 100% pure orange juice means the whole of orange juice. Okay, so 100% means all the parts together, right? So in a sense, whatever we are dealing with, we are splitting them into a smaller segments, which they're going to be 100 of them. So it's like a mom dividing a pizza for his or for her children. Okay, so it's going to divide into small, 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 but the total number of that is going to make it the whole pizza. Okay, right. Now it says in business life, you can find percentages higher than 100. Okay, Uh, for example, if we're talking about the profitability or we are talking about sales, you can find yeah, our sales increased by 125%. Yeah, or increased by 500%. Yes, so you find those things abnormal. You say, why has it been more than yeah what it's about to do? Okay, to be okay. So it says in business life, you can find percentage higher than 100. For example, if you buy an item for 1,000 and sell it for 3,000, so let's see, all right? So you bought it for 1,000. So what you're saying is the cost is equal to 1,000. Okay, right, and then the selling is equal to 3,000. Okay, so if we're going to find the profit, so that's what we want. So we want the percentage of profit. So what we need is the minus the cost divided by cost multiplied by 100. That's what we need to do. So this is going to be 3,000 minus 1,000 and then divided by 1,000 multiplied by 100. So if I take it this way, I'm going to have 2,000 and then I'm dividing by 1,000 and I'm going to multiply by 100. So I can cancel this zero here, cancel that zero there, cancel this zero here, cancel that zero there, cancel this zero here, cancel this here. So what I have is going to be 200. And this 200 is 200%. So that's what he's talking about. So we made a profit of 200%. Yeah. So it's more than 100. Right. Okay. So this profit being twice the original cost can be described as a 200% profit. Okay. Now, first example, when 3% of 3,100, I don't like that way because you make smaller, 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 smaller. Okay, let's see if that's what it is. So first example, what is 3% of 100? So it's going to be 3% means over 100 and then multiply by 100. Okay. Yeah, so because it's a 3% of 100 pounds, so this is 100 pounds. So therefore, I'm going to divide to cancel these zeros. Then I'm remaining with 1. 1 times 3 is going to be 3 pounds. So okay, so it's going to be 3 pounds. Yeah. Okay. Right. The next one says, okay, so he has split it that way. So 1% of 100 is 1 pound, and then 3% is 3 times 1. With a calculator, you can calculate this just by using this formula here. You don't need to split that. When you split them, what you do is then you have started adding. And then in the addition, you end up making mistakes, which is not helpful. In those days when we didn't have calculators, yes, you can do that because you want smaller numbers. So smaller numbers is easier to handle. but most of the students were making mistake when now they start, or either they forget to add, or when they're adding, they have added something which is not so. And then the next it says, what is 50% of 20? So it's going to be 50 over 100, yeah, times 20. So 50 over 100 is half. So half of 20 is 10. So it will be 10 pounds. The next one it says, what is the 60% of 400? Again, you have 60 divided by 100, and then you multiply by 4. The two zeros can cancel from 400. So you're going to have 4 times 60. So which is going to be 240. Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be 240. A suit was reduced by 10%. The original price was 300. Okay. So this again, what you need to think of, the original is always 100. Okay. So if it was reduced by 10%, it means what you see is going to be So a suit was reduced by 10%. The original price was 300. What was the reduced price? So we need to find the reduced price of this, which means it was reduced by 10%. So 10% of 300, which means 10 over 100 times 300. You can see there is going to be you're going to cancel. So we are talking of 10 over 100 multiplied by this 300 pounds. So these zeros can cancel. So you have 3 times 10, which is the 30 pounds. There are 20 children on the class register. Okay. Today, 3 children are away. What percentage are present? Right. Okay. So let's see what we're talking about there. Okay. So 3 children are actually absent. 3 children are away. What percentage are present? Okay. So there are 20 children, okay, in the class. So 20 is going to be 100. It's 100%. Yeah. So 20 is equal to 100%. But that's the total number. Okay. Now, if we are going to have 3 are absent, it means they're going to be 17. But first, let's take it 1. So 1 here, it means I've divided this side by 20. I'm going to do the same this side. Remember, yeah, when we did the algebra, this bridge here, so it's going to be 100 over 20. This is 1. So this is called multiplier. So what we're interested is 20 take away 3, which is 17. So what is asking is what is the percentage of this? Okay. So it's going to be, we are going to use this to multiply with this. So it's going to be 100 over 20 multiplied by 17 over 1. Okay. So we can cancel this 0 and this 0. And then this 2 here, 1. This 2 into 5 into 10 is 5. Okay. Then 5 times 7 is going to be 35. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. So it's 87%. Sorry, 85%. Are you okay there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Okay. So print test the test level, which is a
Yes, I have it.
It'll be 5.2. Yeah. So let's look at 35.2, which is the test level. Will end up being cut. Okay, so I'm adding the last 30. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So that makes 2 hours. Okay. If another student, by the time we were trying to finish, then it was too late. It's cut. We couldn't even reverse it. Say, well, that's accident. So in an accident, you can't escape. Okay. So that one there says, what is the 5%? Okay. So it's 5% of, it means over 100. Then of means multiply in math. Okay. So whenever you see of means multiply. So multiply by 100. So you can see there is going to be a 5. Okay. So it's going to be 5 pounds. Yeah. Remember what I said earlier on. Okay. So in the previous one, you can follow the same if you want. So 5 times 100 until you are used. So 1 times 100. So that is going to be 500 over 100. And this you can see zeros. Next one says 50. Okay, so 50% means 50 over 100. And that is of, which means multiply. So it's of 60 pounds. Again, you can multiply this. So this should be 50. So I think you should maintain what we had covered before, over 100 multiplied by 1. If you multiply this, you're going to have 0, 0, then 30. Yeah. And at the bottom, you're going to have 100. Yeah. So you can cancel this 0, that is 0, this is 0, this is 0. And it's going to be 30, which makes sense because 50% is half. So half of 60. Okay. Can I move on?
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm. See, say, what is 20%? So 20 over 100. Okay. And then of means multiply by 200 pounds. So then we're going to have 20 times 200 over 1 times C. Okay. So this one here, you always have, if you look at it zeros at the end there, that's not a problem. You just need to add these zeros. So you're going to have 0, 0, 0. Count how many there are. There are 3. And the next is 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, so that's what comes at the top. And then 1 times 100 is 100. And then you cancel these zeros by one. So you can see the answer is going to be 40. So it's 40 pounds. What makes you to have a keen in math?
What?
What makes you wanting to have to be keen in maths? Why do you have developed interest in maths?
Well, I never had much of a schooling in maths, and I understood that it was very much because of I didn't have the right teachers. Also, mostly,
Yes.
I couldn't feel a connection with maths.
Uh-huh.
No. And
Okay.
right now, I would like to do this.
Yeah. Okay.
The,
Right.
you
It
know,
makes sense.
what?
I say it makes sense because I know many of my friends, because of bad experience, most of mature students have taught or tutored. They had a bad experience with maths.
Yes.
Yeah, so some were told maths is terribly difficult, but it's not as difficult as it should be. It's the way you teach them.
Yes.
And that was my experience because we had to change a teacher. After changing a teacher, we saw a big difference.
Yes, and it's also, when you have the aptitude as a student, if you have the aptitude, then you can do it. But when the aptitude is low.
Yes, exactly. All right. Okay, so 1% is 1 over 100. And the over means multiply by 8 pounds. Okay, always put over 1. Okay, so the top is going to be 8 times 1 over 100 times 1. So that gives you 8 over 100. But don't forget, all right, that these are going to be pounds. Right. So what did we say? If we are dividing, what do we do? We're dividing by 100. What do we do? 80 pounds is this. This here is the pence. Are you able to see?
I think it's lagging, but I can see the board.
Okay, you can see the board, but you can't see what I'm writing.
No, I can't see your the cursor.
Okay, so you can't see my pen. What about the things I've written? Can you see them?
I seen 8 pounds now.
Okay, so but come down here. Can you see this? What next line do you see? Below 8 pounds.
Nothing.
Okay, just write what I'm telling you. So 8 pounds. So write 8. Okay, with a single pound. Then it's 0.00. So 80.00.
Okay.
Those 00 stand for pence. There are 2 zeros because 100 pence make 1 pound. Remember when we did the decimals? Okay, I said what you do when you have 0.00, you put 1 wherever there's a point, so it's over 1. Okay, then every digit you see after decimal, you add a 0, so that gives you. So if you put that, you will see that 0.00 is going to give you 0 over 100. Okay, so what I was saying, the reason of writing that, because here we are dividing by 100. Yeah, where you see pound, so we have multiplied these two, then it's going to be 8 over 100. You see it? All right. So what you have written is this. So 0.00, okay, over 100. All right.
Okay.
So the reason I was saying, remember what we said, the reason you have written this way is because when we did division, okay, by 100 or 10, what do we do? What we have just done before? What do we do when we are dividing by 100 or 10 or 20 or 200?
Yeah, move the decimal to the left.
Yeah, so we're going to move this to the left by the number of zeros. So we are dividing by 100. It has 2 zeros. So currently our decimal is here. So we're going to move that way. That's 1. That's 2. So the decimal is going to be here. Okay. So 1% of 8 pounds means this is 0.0. Okay, because there's 0 here. So 0.8.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you write this, they are in pounds. Effectively, it's 8 pence. Okay. Then 25%. So 25 over 100 of means multiply by 20 meters over 1. So therefore, it's going to be 25 multiplied by 20 over 100 multiplied by 1. So in this one here, when you have 25 multiplied by 20, all you need to do is add 0 to 25. Okay. So you're going to have 25. You have added 0 and then multiply by 2 over 100. Now, if you multiply this by 2, you're going to get what? 250 multiplied by 2?
500.
500? Yeah. Yeah. So it's easy. Okay. And then you divide by 100. So these cancels and you have 5. So the answer is going to be 5 meters. Now, always the problem, students forget to write what they are. So they forget about the pound sign, they forget about the meter sign. Yeah, the moment you just write a number, it has no meaning. That's it. You get a 0. Okay. Yeah, so don't forget those. Okay. The next one. So what is 10% of 1,000? Yeah, you try to do that one.
Okay, so 10 over 100 times 1,000 over 1
Yeah.
equals 10 times 1,000 over 100 times 1.
Yeah.
Which is 10,000 over 100.
Yep.
And then you can cancel 2 of each side's zeros, and it's 100.
Okay. Yeah.
100 pounds.
Okay. Yeah. 100 pounds. Don't forget that. Okay. If you just put 100, then it has no meaning. You shouldn't get marked.
I know.
Okay. Let's do the next one.
Okay. A supermarket is reducing the price of its own brand washing powder by 10%. The original price is £2.50. What is the reduced price? Okay, so it's 10 over 100 times 2.5 over 1 equals 10 times 2.5 over 100 times 1, which is equal to 25 over 100, which is which is 25 pence. The reduced price is 2.50 minus 0.25, which is £2.25.
Yeah. So that's the reduced price that is going to be charged. Next one.
In the class, there are 11 girls and 11 boys. What percentage of the class are boys? 50%. 50%, obviously.
You need to work them out.
To work it, huh? All right. So The class total is 22 pupils. So how do you go about, working this out?
Yeah, so total, okay, number of pupils, okay, or total number of boys and girls is equal to 11 plus 11, which equals 22.
Yes.
Okay, so percentage of what do they ask you? The boys? What is it?
Yes, boys.
Yeah, so percentage of boys is equal to 11 over 22 times 100 over 1. Okay, so this is a half times 100 over 1, which is in 100 over 2, which is in 50%. Okay, the next one.
John got 2 answers wrong in a test. There were 2 questions. What was his mark as a percentage? So 2 over 20 times 100 over 1, which equals 2 times 100 over 20 times 1, which equals 200 over 20. And you cancel and you divide 20 by 2, which is 10. So the answer is, okay, 100 minus 10, and that's 90. So his mark as a percentage was 90%.
Okay.
J, there are 500 children in the school. Today, 25 children are away. What percentage are present? So 25 over 500 times 100 over 1, which is equals to 25 times 100 over 500 times 1, which is equal to 2,500 over 500. The zeros cancel, and you divide 25 by 5. So you're left with 5. That's percent of absent children, and the percentage of present children is 100 minus 5. That's 95%.
How else could you have done it? Both I and J.
I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, let's go back to I. Okay.
But did I do it? Did I do
John
them?
got 2 answers wrong. Okay, so they were okay, 20 questions. So total number of questions is equal to 20.
20.
Yeah. Number got wrong
2.
equals 2. Okay, so number got right equals 20. Take away, take away 2, which is 18. So which means his marks were 18 out of 20 multiplied by 100.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so
So
start the zero cancel. This is 0. This here 2 because 1, 2 there, 9. 9 times 10 is 90. Okay, so this is 90%. Okay, the same with this one here. Okay, so there are 25 children who are away. So which means number of children who are present is going to be 500 minus 25, which means you have 475 left. And 475 over 500, which is number total. and multiply this by 100. Okay, so these zeros cancel with those zeros there. Then 5 here, 1. 5 into 47 is going to be 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 45 from 47 is going to be 2 into 25 is going to be 5. So it's 95%. That's the other way of doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in an exam, each is correct.
Yeah, each is correct. The only one, the other one cost you time. Okay. While this one is straight away.
Okay.
That's all. So if you want to save time, yeah.